Well, our correspondent Ryan Thompson is in Poland near the Belarusian border. So, Ryan, this latest round of talks is now underway.
Hi there, Robin. That's right. It's taken a long time to get here. The situation changing hour by hour, really down to the minute. At points, we weren't sure if the talks would actually go ahead, where they would happen, because this has been something that is so up in the air. This is not an event made for the media cameras. These are life or death talks that we're talking about. Finally, we have confirmation that both the Russian delegation and the Ukrainian delegation have made their way to the room and are beginning discussions, potentially with some consensus about this humanitarian aid corridor that you mentioned. That was requested by the Red Cross and the Red Crescent Society to see if they could get some key medical supplies and other supplies into Ukraine right now, despite the shelling. It still remains to be seen, though, if they will be able to reach a compromise on a ceasefire or even to stop the shelling. Many of the other issues are still so far apart between the two sides, and it will remain incredibly difficult for them to get to a common denominator here over the course of these talks.
And meanwhile, the United Nations says that over 1 million people have now fled the Russian invasion. This really is a humanitarian crisis of enormous proportions.
It's not at Europe's doorsteps. It's really in the heart of Europe. We are talking about this humanitarian crisis because they are heading over the border, not just here to Poland, but to Slovakia and Hungary. Here in Poland, of course, it is where a majority of the displaced people and refugees are coming to seek some sort of refuge. With the shelling back at home, we've passed the limit of 400,000 people just in the last 8 days of fighting, as people have really sought shelter, sought comfort. It's majority women and children coming over the border, and so far Poland has been able to respond to their needs. We're seeing an outpouring of support across the country, whether you're in the southern border regions or whether you're in the capital city of Warsaw. Many supplies, many places to sleep, but it's going to get increasingly difficult as the numbers continue to climb and climb. And also, as we're talking about not just settling these people for a couple of nights, but settling them for a couple of weeks or months even, depending on how long this invasion continues. Many of these people have made it clear they don't want to settle in the European Union. They were happy with their life back in Ukraine, but for the way it is now, it's just not safe for them to be there. So it is highly likely that they will need to settle, at least temporarily, in some type of European accommodation.
Ryan, good to talk to you. Ryan Thompson there on the Poland-Belarus border.